Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Library of Ruina theme. We have Roland's Realization theme. I only saw this once in the comments, but it did have quite a few likes on it, so I figured it's Roland. I've seen that name floating around quite a bit, so I know he's got to be an important character, and I figured, why not just jump on this one? I'm sure I'm going to be hounded about it eventually. So without further ado, let's go. As per usual, I'm using the Lunar Teak upload, so if there's any, like, transitional stuff, I won't know, but guess we'll find out. Ooh. Ooh. That was a very crunchy chord there. Already trying to set forward that unease in the song. Pretty early for that. Pretty interesting contrast of the rhythm of the piano versus the drums as well. Lots of change up. Okay. I felt very much like a realization. Just a little bit of a question there. Ooh. Add some intensity. This is a very interesting piano part. I feel like we gotta be in the second half now, right? Or second theme, I suppose. Yeah, okay. About the second half of the second. So I was right there. That speed up was definitely moving into this part. Makes total sense. Ooh. Ooh. A little ominous. Kind of digging the double time drums on this part. I really like how intense that section is with the piano. Speaking of intensity, starting to get a little bit more frantic, slightly more panic to the song itself. Definitely keeping it moving a lot more. Hasn't slowed down yet at all. Don't think it will. Eh, it might. Ooh. There's some, like, borderline key change moments in that chord progression there. Kind of pressing that tension a little bit more. Kind of a bridge here. This is what I was kind of figuring, that it might try to change the beat. Yep, there it is. Slow it back down a little bit. I'm really liking what this song is doing. The evolution of the music. Always really well done from this studio. nice abrupt ending right on that chord change too. Very nice. Like I said, I got to appreciate this studio specifically for being so damn smooth with their transitions, the way that they carry every song straight through. There's a clear line of beginning to end, and then right at the end, like this one, they always try to transition it back to where it was or to move back into a loop of some sort. They just have that formula pretty well down, and I guess if that's kind of the main thing you're creating as a studio, you're going to want to have that sort of thing locked down. Making those transitions is obviously one of the most important parts, and I've talked about that a few times with this studio's work. It's just something they have done so consistently well that I can't help but mention it every time. Especially with this song, this carried through each motion with that intent of getting more frantic every single time. You started out slow, like there's a question being asked, but you're not entirely sure what that question may be. There's a doubt in there. Some of the chord changes in there felt like a lot of tension being added. Some of them had a lot of dissonance and a lot of crunch. They just didn't feel right in the normal key of the song. And that's obviously on purpose. You want to add this extra tension. Something's just incorrect in there, and those notes just not lining up are doing exactly that subconsciously. So you're hearing the character feel that emotion in real time. You're kind of going, oh, something isn't correct here. I need to figure out what that is. The second phase doing exactly that, starting to go, oh, okay, now we're a little bit more frantic. Maybe we realized what that wrong thing was, and now you're trying to fight it. You're kind of in the denial stage, maybe, of what you were just given the answer to, and you're just not sure what's going on in general. And then stage 3 being in the panic before the acceptance at the very end. You're basically just rolling through all of the stages of grief in a song like this. You're starting out being very confused and just in full denial, and then ending in acceptance after that panic really just runs its course and finally settles in. And that's part of the reason I love theme 3 for this one, is because of how it ends and it loops itself back to the beginning of that like sheer panic, that attempt, that final attempt to deny what you were just realizing, and it loops back to that by going up that chord at the end. You would start at the start of theme 3, and it just keeps that cyclical motion going. You could almost feel that as denying that acceptance, like you're almost there, you're almost accepting it, and then it goes up that chord to go back to the panic to just start that cycle over and over again for as many times as you need for it to finally end, wherever that may be, however long that may take. That's a beautiful sentiment in the song. I mean, obviously for the person feeling these emotions, that's really unfortunate, just constantly being in that never-ending cycle seemingly until you finally get it. But that's what this song is doing. It's bringing you through all those stages, where a lot of their songs bring you through a couple of those stages. It's not quite as like cut and dry as this one. This is very much every stage of grief. And then it only has that cycle part at the end, just because of the gameplay mechanic, I'm sure, of needing to go back to the beginning of the song in case you need more time to finish whatever the section or battle is. I'm not sure what happens here. I think it's a boss theme. I'm pretty sure it's a boss theme, but either way, that's what I'm sure they're trying to get at, is feeling those emotions, going through those stages, and just landing eventually on acceptance, however long that may take. That's really cool, and again, something this studio does very well, utilizing those actual stages in order to portray that emotion and make it feel so natural. That's why it feels natural, because they're following the exact stages you would feel as a human, feeling those emotions for whatever happens in your life going through those stages of grief. I'd go far enough to dare saying that the beginning of the third part feels like a transformation. Like, if it's a boss theme, that would totally make sense, because bosses are in phases, and a lot of the time it's because there's like another layer to peel back to get deeper, and that usually comes with some sort of a big transformation sequence. But it feels like a transformative moment, like not just feeling that emotional shift, but there's like a physical change as well. It gets bigger. Like, between the end of the second phase and the beginning of the third, it feels like there's a boost in general energy around the song. That might be because there's there's kind of a sudden like cut to that third phase. It's not quite as smooth as some other uploads from this person have been, but either way, there's definitely like an entire energy shift. It almost feels like a theme for a different person, but all the motifs from the prior phases are there, so you know it's not. Something big, larger than life, almost like Sephiroth-esque might have happened at this point. I'm not sure what that would be, but it definitely had a significant energy change from the second to third. Even though you thought that third was already pretty energetic, there's just more there somehow. So there's got to be a transformation there. But that's really neither here nor there. It doesn't have anything to do with that emotional baggage I was referencing before. It's just something else I noticed with how aggressive that spot was, that maybe there was something else happening physically. I could be completely wrong there, but it felt like it was worth mentioning and throwing in here either way. But I think that's about all I've got to say about this one. It was a very interesting theme and definitely had great examples of, like I said, the stages of grief and getting all that to work out. As I've said a few times already and in every video, the studio does that very well, and I'm sure will continue to do so the more themes I hear from them. It's the sort of thing you have to have under lock and key, and you know the studio has it under lock and key, just the ability to pull that out of thin air whenever they need to, and they do it well. But I don't know how else to say that. I feel like a broken record. I've said it so many times. So I guess that's really the end of this one. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any other songs from Library of Ruina that you want me to get to, or any other game, any other Project Moon stuff you want me to get to, anything from anything, I'm open to pretty much whatever. So if you've got an idea, throw it down in the comments below and let people vote on it, and I will do my best to get to it as always. And of course, otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!